Hello, and today we've got 2015 Scottish Cup winning manager John Hughes. Hiya John, how are you doing today?
No bad, Angus. How are you?
I'm good, thank you. Right, so let's start. What is your first memory of playing football?
In the street, Angus, playing street football with my bigger brother, my older brothers, my cousins. School football in the playground. Up there early in the morning, dinner time, after school, constantly football, football, football. Then from there, looking to get into structured football, which was in the Boys Brigade. Not always a great advocate of the Boys Brigade. I think it's fantastic, but we went there for the football and it brought a good discipline to us, but we got a game of football, and then school football, and then eventually on to the famous juvenile club in Edinburgh, Hutchie Boys Club.
Yeah. So was that, who was the first professional club you played for?
My first professional club was Berwick Rangers, but it was part-time. Because what happened, Angus, we were all, see the juveniles, Hutchie there was so many players that have had great careers in professional football. Guys like John Collins, Paul Kane, Keith Wright, John Robertson, Gordon Marshall, Gary Mackay, David Bowman. All these guys played in the juveniles. We all played against each other. So we would play against each other for the school in the morning and play against each other in the afternoon for your juvenile team. So all the scouts would just come have a look at the best teams. And we were all thinking at 14, 15, 16, we're all going to be a professional footballer. Well, come 16, unfortunately, I was in training at Hibs for 2 nights a week and I never got taken on. So at 16, leaving school, it was soul destroying. It was really, really hard. But I'd left school and I needed to get a job, so I was painting and decorating in the family, and I became a painter and decorator. But I still played for Hutchie and then I got a chance to sign for Arbroath at 16. And then I went to Arbroath. Another 2 of the players for Hutchie went. But I was painting and decorating, and I found it very difficult to try and say a Tuesday night or a Thursday night to try and meet the car. It was going up to Arbroath for training. I was covered in paint. I was maybe working at one end of the town, couldn't drive, had to get a bus, try to meet. I found it really difficult. So I went to see the manager, and the manager understood the circumstances and gave me a free transfer. So I went back to Hutchie. And then after that, I went and played junior football. And the junior football, Angus, is all your mining villages, like Bonnerig, Arniston, Newton Grange. Newton Grange, I played for Newton Grange Stars. So that was my first taste coming out of juvenile football at 18. That was my first taste of man's football. Because what happened in the juniors then, it was all the kids like myself that were looking to make the grade, and all the ex-professionals that were just about finished coming down. So it was men's football. And I played for Newton Grange Stars for 3 years. And then I got the chance to sign for Berwick Rangers. But Berwick Rangers were part-time at the time, so it wasn't full-time football. And I was 22 at the time. And I signed for Berwick Rangers. Eventually, to cut a long story short, your gaffer, Jim Jeffries, and Billy Brown, and the reason I'm saying your gaffer, because I see you've got your Jambo strip on. And now that you've got that Jambo strip on, I'll get my Hibs strip out. To all your viewers, you know, I knew what was coming, Angus. And that's where I met up with Jim Jeffries and Billy Brown at Berwick Rangers. And it's a little bit luck that your path crossed, you meet up with them. They were good for me. I'll always be grateful to them taking me on board, taking me under their wing. And I played for them for a couple of seasons. And then Jim Jeffries sold me to Swansea City at the age of, I think it was 23. And that was my first full-time club, Swansea City. It wasn't Swansea City, Angus, what we see now, with a fantastic stand that have just come out of the Premiership. It was old Swansea City, old Vetch. But it was a fantastic experience, and I struggled, to tell you the truth. I really struggled, you know, in terms of getting up to speed with full-time football. I was playing centre forward at the time. It was never my natural position, but I played centre forward for Jim Jeffries at Berwick, and that's where I got sold to Swansea. And I lasted a year, and it just shows you Jim Jeffries then got the post at Falkirk and brought me back from Swansea City to Falkirk. So I've had a good rapport and a good relationship with the gaffer and Billy Brown. They've been good for my career. So that was me back at Falkirk playing in Scottish football full time.
So when was the first time that you were asked to sign an autograph by a fan?
For the first time, it probably would have been doing at Swansea. Yep. I can remember that full-time football, the supporters waiting after the game. And although I struggled a little bit, I always got a game, you know, and it was more like a battering ram centre forward, you know, no any great grace or technique. It was more a battering ram, good in the air, always got my flicks, always let the centre half moves. And so it would be that coming out of game, signing autographs. But I learnt a great lesson later on in my career from a coach who was at Celtic, Frank Connor. Frank Connor was an old coach. He was at Hearts with Joe Jordan away back in the day. Frank Connor was a real disciplinarian. Great man to talk to. And I remember Frank saying when you were signing autographs, because when you were at Celtic, there was hundreds of fans who'd sign. He says, the day will come when they don't ask you for your autograph. And when that day comes, you know you're finished. So soon you're always signing autographs. And I'm grateful and thankful to do so. Even now, you know, I get requests to sign photographs and always do that.
That's great. What are the best and worst kits you've ever worn?
I've been thinking, I knew the best kit is the Celtic strip.
Right, okay.
I don't know what about it. It's because I was thinking about that. It was because as a young kid, not making the grade, leaving school at 16 to get to the higher echelon, say playing for Celtic. Not every kid in Scotland. So if you can get a chance to play for Celtic, Rangers in Scotland, it's the pinnacle. You've reached the top. Just come short of the international when Craig Brown was there. And then also the Hibs, when you get a chance to play for your hometown club, Hibs supporter. But I was a Celtic supporter up to the age of 14. And the reason I sort of switched allegiance to Hibs was because I used to play football on a Sunday. So I could go through on the Leaf supporters bus to watch Celtic. But when we got to 14, we started playing on a Saturday. So I couldn't get to Parkhead. So I started playing the game on a Saturday and get up to Easter Road. And that's how I switched the allegiance. But the best strip is the Celtic strip, the white socks, the white. And we used to train in black or dark green all through the week. Come a Saturday, you put the white on, the white socks, and the hoops make you look. And I can remember a story, one of my best friends in football was a boy called Neil Oliver. I played with Ollie at Berwick Rangers, and then I played with him for 5 years at Falkirk. And he's one of my best friends in football. And I can remember him saying when Falkirk come to Parkhead and we were standing in the tunnel, he was looking for that, you know, that, how you doing? And I had to stare on. He says, and I can remember him saying, he says, I looked at you and he says, I seen you with a hoop strip on. He says, you look twice the size as you are normally. And that's what it does, you know, and a lot of players can't fit the jersey. A lot of players, it's too much for them. You know, you have to be able, you have to have the character to stand into that jersey. So that was the best one. My worst one, believe it or not, is the one you've got on, Hearts. And the reason I'm saying that, I got a couple of trials for Hearts way back when I was 15, 16, leaving school. John Brough, the ex-goalkeeper at Hearts, is related to me. And I think he had a wee part to play in it. But I got a few trials for Hearts and didn't get signed there either. So, but that was probably the worst one I've wore.
Fair enough. Who's the best player you swapped shirts with, if you did swap shirts back?
Gascoigne.
Really?
I got Gascoigne, and it wasn't the Rangers one. I got Gascoigne when he was finished with Rangers. He come up pre-season with Middlesbrough.
Yeah.
And he was on the substitute bench. I was playing for Hibs at the time, and I got a strip after the game. So it's Paul Gascoigne's Middlesbrough one. The other one is, I've got one from PSG when Celtic played PSG in European Cup, Winners' Cup, I think it was back in the day. The striker I was playing against was a boy called Patrice Loco, and I says it, and he was the best striker I've played against in terms of movement and speed. But I failed to get his strip. But I've got a few. I'd have to look them out. There's one of them. You think that they're on the wall, they're not. They're put away and they're in the cupboard and they're stored away in the garage. But looking back, it would be that one. It would be Paul Gascoigne.
What is the best moment of your playing career?
The best moment, there's actually three of them. The day I signed for Celtic, because as you say, you've reached it, and it was unbelievable. The day I signed for Celtic, because I was with my agent, and we just, believe it or not, we'd just come out the office of the chairman at Falkirk, because I was looking to sign a new deal, and I was sitting in the Falkirk car park with my agent when the phone went, and it was Tommy Burns speaking to the agent saying he wanted to sign me. He says, well, I'm sitting with him now. I went on the phone to Tommy Burns. I thought it was somebody winding me up, so I didn't quite, and eventually we went right there, and I phoned up my wife. I said, listen, I've got to sign for Celtic. When I met Tommy Burns, we'd done the deal. The next game day, Celtic were playing Newcastle. I went in the next game day, passed my medical, and then my agent was bringing in Rod Stewart to open up the stand, because Parkhead was getting revamped at the time.
Yeah.
And my agent says, come with me, come on, we've got to meet. Went to the airport, and the jet come in, Rod Stewart come down, and I got introduced to Rod Stewart. So this is John Yogi Hughes, just signed for Celtic. Remember Rod Stewart, just wishing me all the best, saying I wish it was me. And that was it, back to Parkhead, and I made my debut on the Monday against Liverpool in a goalless draw. So that there, signing for Celtic, signing for Hibs, was something as a kid that I always wanted to do. So eventually to get the opportunity to sign for them, captain them, and then scoring an goal for them.
Yeah.
Because that year in '95, Angus, I think that we lost one game and we lost the league. We were up against a right good Rangers team: Goram, Gough, McCoist, Haitley, Lildrop, Gascoigne, McCall. All these guys are a real good Rangers team. We played some fantastic football, but that goal I scored was in the last 5 minutes of the game at Ibrox. We were getting beaten 1-0, and I got a header just into the bottom corner. So it kept the league going.
Yeah.
And the emotions, I look back at it now and then, and the camera actually goes to Paul McStay. But eventually the camera comes to me, and the tears are streaming down my face. Just the emotions. Just couldn't control my emotions. I knew the importance of the game, what it meant to the supporters. And actually, I'll tell you, when I went up, when the game restarted and kicked off, McCoy's come up and patted me on the back and says, well done. And then I think he hit the crossbar a minute later and he gave me that, that wee cheeky grin of his.
Yeah.
Just looking as to say, and I went, one of them, whoop.
Yeah.
So, and that was it. So fantastic. They're probably the highlights.
You mentioned how you had a sticky spell at Swansea. Would you say your worst performance of your career came at Swansea?
In terms of football, it was a learning curve. Angus, I look back, I use it. Every experience, good. And I think what makes you the man you are now is the bad experiences. And the mistakes and the bad, and if you're learning from them, you say, I'll not learn that. But when I went down to Swansea, I was never a centre forward, and I wasn't quite ready. My fitness was terrible. Well, my fitness was good, but it wasn't anywhere near a full-time footballer. So I struggled to get up to speed. And then just the way these guys passed the ball, knocked the ball, you know, it was like, I'm off this. I'm miles off this.
Mm-hmm.
If I was a young apprentice starting off at 16, and that's what your apprenticeship's all about, you know, for the first 2 or 3 years to get up to speed and eventually start training with the first team and you're playing and you're up to speed. And that was it. But as a player, no, I enjoyed every minute of it. And I played with some wonderful players and made some wonderful friends.
Mm-hmm.
I would recommend anybody ever gets a chance to go and visit Swansea or gets a chance to go and play, go. It's a beautiful, beautiful city.
Yeah.
And the people are so warm and they welcome you. I really, really do. And if I tell you some of the Chris Coleman played, you know the manager of Wales? Chris Coleman was a left back at the time. A boy, maybe a wee bit too much. Robbie James, Alan Curtis, these guys I'm talking about. Tommy Hutchison, these guys are legends. Robbie James, Alan Curtis for Wales, legends. Tommy Hutchison played for Scotland, Manchester City. So it was fantastic, really enjoyable. But it was coming back to Falkirk, coming back to Scottish football, starting to make a name to myself, was never a centre forward. And eventually, I ended up playing centre half. The game was in front of me, Angus. I could see everything in front of me. And I just felt at ease. And I says, this is my position. I was good in the air. I loved to attack the ball, win my tackles, try to dominate the striker. I was quite quick and mobile, believe it or not. I could get about. And it was Jim Jeffries and Billy Brown. So I really felt at ease. And that's when I really took off. You know, I come into myself, I started getting real confidence, real self-belief to say, and started, because we were a sort of a yo-yo club, Premier League, First Division, Premier League for a couple of years, First Division, you want to make a statement. So anyone that we played, and I was never intimidated or an inferior complex against anybody I played. My mindset was, no matter who I play against, they're going to know they're in a game, and they're going to have to do something special to get the better of me. And that, by that time, I was really up to speed with the fitness, really clued in. It was football 24/7. That's all I was interested in, because it was my living. You know, nutrition, diet, mindset, coming into the game on a Saturday saying, come on. And if you ask anyone, you started getting a reputation of being a centre half that everybody knows that they're not going to get an easy game when they're coming up against you. And I'd done that for 5 years at Falkirk under the guidance of Jim Jeffries, and I loved it. And Billy Brown, absolutely loved it. So much so, Angus, the Falkirk dressing room I was in. Now, I don't know if you've ever been to Old Brockville. Did you ever go to Old Brockville?
I didn't know.
Old Brockville, well, ask Old Brockville. The goalkeeper could kick it from box to box. It was that small. It was tight. It was that small. So our style was right in your face.
Yeah.
And for 5 years, I really enjoyed it. And that dressing room I was in at Brockville at Falkirk was the best dressing room I've been in for character, for banter, for having a laugh, and the team spirit. It was magnificent. And that's one of Jim Jeffries' strengths. He brings the right character to his football club. And if it's not, there's many a player I've seen coming in last a month and away, and you'll sort of look, Jim Jeffries, if it's not the right character or he's no up to it, then he'll not last too long. But that was the best. And even now, most of my friends in football, close friends in football, is from that Falkirk dressing room.
And then after your playing career, you moved on to become a manager. Obviously, there's one big moment that stands out, winning the Scottish Cup in 2015 with Inverness. Could you talk us through your experiences of the Scottish Cup final and obviously winning it?
Yeah, well, the thing about it, when I was at Falkirk, we took Falkirk to the Scottish Cup final a way back, and that was my last game for Falkirk before I moved on to Hibs. Rangers beat us 1-0. So we had to experience it. We were a better team than Rangers on the day. But I suppose it's all about winning the cup. And then that year we won the Scottish Cup, as you say, 2015. The year before, Angus, was we beat Oh, now it comes to mind. We beat Hearts at Easter Road with 9 men.
I remember that.
Time,
I remember that.
Cup semi-final, and we beat them on penalties.
Yeah, I remember that. I was there. I was there. He scored in the last minute, then went penalties. Raging. Because the year before we played you as well, Easter Road as well. I was the mascot for that game.
Were you the mascot?
For the year before. I was,
right,
yeah. The one we won.
The one you won. Well, that one there, with 9 men, that took us to the League Cup final against Aberdeen.
Yeah.
At Parkhead.
Yeah.
And Aberdeen beat us on penalties.
I remember watching that.
I knew what I had. So it was a great dress rehearsal for the next against season.
Yeah.
You know, and you could use that to say, listen, we've got to cup finals, you know, and that was the standard that we try to set at Inverness. And the next again year, taking off, there was talk that we could do something, Angus. We were a real confident side. I had then got all my philosophy into the team. We played some wonderful football, real good, and I had good players. You know, if you look back at guys that I had at my club, guys like Ryan Christie, Graham Shinney, Marley Watkins is now doing, Greg Tansey, Drapers, all these guys. But the most important part of that, Angus, is I could mention 8 or 9 guys, but there's other guys like Nick Ross, Danny Williams, that were not always first team regulars, but you could hang your hat on them when they come into the first team. So much so when they went in, it would take them, you know, they would stay in there for a good 5 or 6 games. So the whole squad was very good. And then, as I say, for that experience of the League Cup, going into it, it all really, it was a semi-final against Celtic. Massive underdogs going on against Celtic at Hampden. We carried a little bit of luck with the Meekins handball. We should have been sent off. But that day, seeing all your hard work come to fruition, because what I do when we get corners against us, I leave 3 players up the pitch. And if you see Craig Gordon getting sent off for the penalty,
of course,
it was a corner for Celtic. We headed it out and then we broke on them. And when Marley Watkins, who's the quickest player I've worked with, he got played in, then you're not going to catch him. He's a flying machine. And he just knocked it around Craig Gordon. So that was all off the training pitch. And then the winning goal is one fullback linking up, which was Graham Shinney, and getting in the final third and whipping across, right across the 6-yard box, and your other fullback coming in on the far post, David Raven, to put it in the net. That's what we coached. 2 fullbacks at the same time. They play like wingers. And that's what we coached. So to see that come to fruition, all your hard work coming to fruition in such an important game, to take you into the winning goal, to take you into the Scottish Cup final, you were ecstatic. And as I say, everything that comes with that Scottish Cup final, got a chance to win it, first time in the club's history, but also it guaranteed us a place in Europe.
Yeah.
But don't forget, Angus, we also qualified for Europe, finishing 3rd in the league.
Yeah.
So it was Celtic, Rangers were down the league, so it was Celtic, Aberdeen, Inverness, we were 3rd in the league. So we also finished in Europe through the league position, so it was first time in the history in Europe. But then going into the Scottish Cup final, the table had turned because we were playing first division opposition in my old club, Falkirk. So all the pressure was on us, Falkirk. Going back to the League Cup final, I felt the preparation wasn't great, Angus, and I'll tell you why. We were wanting to go away for a few days, money was tight and all that stuff, and what happened is we ended up doing all of our preparation up in Inverness, and we couldn't even get to train on the first team pitch leading up to the cup final. So it was a little bit of a shambles, to tell you the truth. But we got on with it. We travelled down, I think, the night before, stayed over, played the game. So going into the cup final, the Scottish Cup final, the chairman, I said to the chairman, the preparation needs to be a little bit better, and it was fantastic. What you want to do, we want to go away, stay for 2 or 3 days. We come down to Edinburgh, we stayed at the Norton Hotel at the airport for 2 or 3 days, nice and relaxed. And Livingston gave us their first team training pitch to train on. So it was only a 5-minute bus journey into Livingston, do our training and relax. The team was picked. I had 2 positions. David Raven was carrying an injury and I was going to give him right up to the last minute to see. And it was a toss-up between Aaron Dorrans or Danny Williams, 2 tricky players that could get at you. Eventually I went with Dorrans for a simple reason. He's a fantastic footballer. And if you see the goal, him, the way he runs at players and takes players on, and he poked it through for Marley Watkins. But we actually carried a little bit of luck, but our name is on it. You know, when they say it's a perfect storm, our name is on it because first half we were a better team, got our goal, second half, Falkirk were a better team, we got a man sent off, we put the substitutes on, and we were, to tell you the truth, Falkirk equalised, we were all over the place, and I'm saying we need to get with 10 men, we need to get extra time. James Vincent had went on into midfield, and eventually, because Tremarco got sent off, Shinnie was then playing right back, he went over to his natural position, left back, and James Vincent had to fit in at right back. And how he scored that winning goal with 5 minutes to go for right back, where Marley Watkins went and hit the shot, and he's got there and been first. I don't know how he done it, but it's all down to him and his fitness levels and getting there and the belief. And when you seen it going in, the emotions are all over the place, Angus. Because for 1 minute you're saying we need to keep it solid and get to extra time, and then you go and do that against the running play, and you've won the cup. And to do that, it was absolutely fantastic. The emotions all over the place, high, low, a little bit the fuel coming at you when people have let you down in terms of not getting signed up when you were 16. All that stuff comes in, and it's a wee bit of, I told you so, you know. But that's your fuel. That's your fuel. Fantastic. And the family and everyone were there. They were all there, and so it was fantastic. Absolutely. Can't remember too much after that, Angus, because the beers were flowing. I'm not a big drinker, but what happened was there was a drug test, so that kept us back for about an hour and a half. So you're having 1 or 2 beers too many. We had so many beers on the bus. So the celebration was on the bus, basically going from Hampden back up to Inverness, which is a 2.5, 3 hour journey. So that's where the celebration was. So it's, you know, the ties are in the head and all the shots and all the singing, dancing. And how many times we must have stopped on that motorway. It was unbelievable. And all the fans are flying past in the cars and toot and all that. So fantastic. Next to game day, the club were magnificent because all the players and the families met up at the club. We got our breakfast on the open top bus, 2 big, all the families, 2 big, right around the town centre, and finished up in a big public park with the music and the stage celebrating. And it was. And even there, Angus, I have to say this, what was so special about Inverness, see if you were a supporter, you walked into the club to buy maybe a ticket for the match, you know the Scottish Cup was on the counter, and you could get your photo taken. Oh, it was on, you could get your photo taken. All the fans were, for months and months, just come in and get your photo taken with the Scottish Cup. It was a fantastic memory, really was. And we've done it with some good guys. You know, I had a kit man up there, a boy called John Dock, way back in the day, played for Aberdeen. He was priceless in terms of what he brought to the dressing room. And my 2 coaches, Russell Latapi on the game, tactician, no any better, can see it. See if there's something happening in the game where the team's getting an advantage, it would be right in your ear. You need to change that, you need to do this, brilliant. Another boy, Scott Kelleher, as a coach and taking coaching sessions. Great time, Angus. Great time up in Inverness, and 2 cup finals, got them in 3rd in the league and into Europe with a limited budget.
Great achievement, that. Just to end on, when was the last time you had to pay for a ticket to go to a football match?
The last time I have to pay for a ticket? Oh, that's a good question. Oh, I couldn't tell you here. I think it would probably be it would be the European Cup final, Chelsea, Bayern Munich.
Yeah, you were there?
Way back. You know the reason we went? You know that day, eh? You know what happened that day?
I know that day very well. Very well.
Were you there?
I was. Same day as Hearts beat Hibs 5-1 the Scottish Cup final.
Well, that's the game I'm talking about. So I was very lucky, and our good mate, me and your mate, John Collins, dug us up tickets. So that probably was squared them up for them. Went over. The other mate was with us, was a Hibs supporter, massive Hibs supporters. I'm one of these guys, Angus. I don't like going. I feel like I'm a jinx. See if I'm going. I went to watch Hibs in the Scottish Cup final against Ross County, and they got beat 2-1.
Yep.
I'm a jinx. I'm a jinx. I stay away. But my mate had his Hibs strip in the bag, and it was all red, white, and blue, Bayern Munich and Chelsea.
Yeah.
And he said, if Hibs are winning, he says, I'm putting my Hibs strip on. Right? See, at half time, he says, just keep that in the bag. I could not believe it. But that's probably the last time watching Chelsea win the European Cup and squaring John up for the ticket. But everything else was fantastic. A couple of days over in Munich.
That's great. Who is the best player you played with?
My best player, I've actually got. I'm blessed to play with a lot of them. Frank Sosie, Di Canio, John Collins, real good player. Van Hooijdonk, Andrews, Tom, Paul McStay, very, very good. Latapi, Russell Latapi was an absolute genius. And I get asked, a lot of people will say, why did he not reach the top? Why did he not reach the top? And they've got a point in that. And maybe his attitude in terms of his lifestyle, maybe let him down a little bit because he liked a cigarette and all that.
Yeah.
But for the foot, and don't forget, when I was at Hibs at the time, Latapi was in his prime. Frank Sosie was just past his prime a little bit, but Frank was a legend, an absolute god. But Russell's probably the best. And then, having played with him at Hibs, I got the chance to manage him for 5-6 years at Falkirk. And everything we did at Falkirk and the success we had at Falkirk, he was a catalyst. He was what he could do with his right foot, he could do with his left foot. And what a talented footballer. You probably remember the 6-2 game?
Yep.
Where he ran amok.
I've seen highlights of it, but
I was aware that I was at Ayr United, but looking back, I think Mixu scored a hat-trick, but Latapi, wow. And what a great lad, Angus. What a lovely, lovely, lovely lad. So he's probably the best I've played with. Technically fantastic. He was a genius.
Right, John, that wraps it up. It's been a pleasure having you on. Thank you.
Wait there, Angus. You need to get old Hibs. Good night, mate. All the best to you, Angus. And
yeah, you too. Thank you. Bye.